1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hey, Upside.
How you
How are
doing?
you? All right.
Good, good, good.
You okay?
Yeah, not too bad,
Yeah.
not too bad.
Got a lot of stuff on your hands, you haven't you? My God.
Yeah, today this is my 5th sectional rehearsal today.
Oh my word.
I've got this one, 9 o'clock. I've even got one at 10 o'clock for alto ones, and then I've got an 11 o'clock for basses.
Bloody hell.
So I'll be seven sessions today. 7
My
sessions.
word.
And doing all the planning and all the organisation and stuff, and my school job.
There's not enough hours.
Sometimes it feels that way, but yeah, it's good. It's all good.
You keep smiling.
Gotta keep smiling, aren't you? Keep
Yeah.
smiling.
When you're smiling. Keep taking the coffee.
Oh, excellent. We've got another couple. Good, 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 good.
Oh.
Just let them in.
Hello.
Evening, gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
We haven't met.
Well, we will do introductions. I think this is what we are expecting, obviously, so we can get going. And obviously, people who've booked and stuff, and obviously, and then Paul. But this is what we're expecting, I think. So if we end up getting extras, I'll let them in. But basically, we're good, I think, and we'll get going, gents. Now, just a quick thing before we do intros. I'm not sure. Did you see the video I did on the members page when I talked about what the different sessions are?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
1, 2,
Just
3,
to,
4, 5,
just to give you an idea. The idea of this session, and we can obviously run round it. The idea of this session, because it's got limited numbers. The reason for limited numbers is so that basically, all of the singers who come to these sessions can sing phrases and parts of the song unmuted, and we can be giving some and kind of getting some kind of live feedback. But I just want to mention that now, in case you weren't aware of that, and hence you're kind of not comfortable with that, because obviously that's what this session is. So there's no pressure at all if you didn't know that that's what this session was. The idea is you get to kind of sing unmuted to the track at home, and obviously then I can listen and we can kind of go through, and everybody else can make some feedback, but obviously I can give some feedback live, and again we can kind of go through and try and nail some bits down in the song. So I just wanted to check that's okay with everyone. Yes?
Yep.
Excellent. That's fine. I just wanted to mention in case suddenly I ask you to sing and you're like, so that's good. I'll try and do a little bit of singing and stuff as well. Have any of you managed to go to the phrasing and musicality session today for basses?
Yep.
No.
Yes, two of you have and Paul have. That's fine. That's cool. Who did you do it with? Can I ask, Stefan and Tom?
We were both with Ben, I guess.
With Ben.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the 5 o'clock one. Yeah.
Yes.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock your time. Yeah, cool. Excellent.
Well, it was 9 a.m. my time, but yes.
Oh, you're in America. Sorry. Because when Stefan said both, I kind of thought, obviously, you must already know each other. So, excellent. That's fine, gentlemen. So, what we will do then is we'll do some introductions. And then we'll go through this and we'll do some singing. We'll do some kind of phrase work. There might be a few things that we kind of look at as far as phrase musicality and just basically note words, breaths, phrasing, musicality, getting the maximum we can out of our part as the basis. And then, and that should be hopefully a good use of time. Now, I have a 10 o'clock session with the alto ones, and I have an 11 o'clock my time session again in a different one with the basses. So this session needs to be I would say probably 45 minutes from now. I need to be finished so I can go to the toilet and then come sit back down again and do another session with the alto ones. I'm not sure I'll make 3 hours without a toilet break. So we'll get going. So if it feels like I'm not going fast, but if it feels like I'm pushing forwards things, it may well be that if we have questions and stuff at the end, you can always message them to me if there's stuff that I don't answer. But we'll do our best to obviously keep within time because otherwise we're going to have lots of altos trying to get into this room to join us at the end of our bass session, and I'm not sure that would go down very well either with them or with us. So, gents, I am Simon Lukowski. I form the collective. I direct a couple of barbershop choruses, one mixed and one men's, a community choir. I live in Leicester in the UK. I've been singing barbershop for 7 years now, not very long in the grand scheme of things. And I've been fortunate enough to be relatively successful in my endeavours of barbershop singing in this country, at least. And I'm looking forward to hopefully going to some other countries and sing barbershop in the next few years, all being well. So, hello, that's me. Paul Tatton, please.
Yes, I'm Paul. I live in a little village just outside Manchester. I sing with the Cotton Town Chorus and quartet called Diminished Fourth. If you see a photograph of the quartet, you know who the diminished fourth was. I also sing with A Kind of Magic, which is the current mixed chorus champions in Babs. I've been in barbershop for 37 years, and it don't seem a day too long. So yeah, that's it really.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. 37 years. I was 2 when you started singing barbershop.
Thanks for that.
That's okay. That's okay. At least I was born. Some people have been singing barbershop longer than I was born, and I love telling them that. I joined the association in 1979. I'm like, that's 2 years before I existed. So there we go. Excellent. Tom.
So, I live in San Diego, California. I sing in a men's chorus and a mixed chorus. I sing in a men's quartet and a mixed quartet. I've been singing barbershop for 6 years, and I've sung in 4 brigades, including the UK Harmony Brigade this year that got in just before everything kind of shut down.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Good stuff. I don't think I've met you before, but Tom, in any of the sessions. I don't think I've seen you in the sessions. No. So I popped into a few. Did you make any for the last phrase of rehearsal? Yeah. Oh, cool. I
was in phase 1 and I did 2 today. This is my third.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I want to wrap it up.
Yeah. Surprising that I didn't see you. Stefan.
Yes, I'm from Germany, live near to Cologne. And my mom sent us to a church choir, a boys choir, when I was 7. So I sing quite for a long time, but it really began actually when we started singing barbershop in the late 80s in a Cologne chorus. I did several quartets, and my recent quartet is called Placeholder because we don't have a name yet, but that's it.
I like that name. Good to see you again, Stefan.
Well, it's for longer.
Yeah. Doug. Hello, Doug.
Hi, Simon. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Jolly good, jolly good.
Yeah.
I'm Doug
Yeah.
Carrington. Well, on the southeast in Brentwood in Essex. Been to Cologne quite a lot, actually. I used to work over in Cologne with the Ford Motor Company, so I do know that area very well. I've been barber shopping for about 8 years now, I think, with the Essex Caldsman. And I've actually left them at the moment and looking for a chorus in London at the moment.
Cool. Excellent. Good to see you again, mate. Awesome. So, as I said, we want to try and I need to wrap this up by about 10 to 5 to 10. So we're going to go at a relative speed, but again, all of you have made sectionals before, so you hopefully know your way around the song. And obviously this putting it all together is about us being able to sing, be heard, get some feedback. So yeah. So we'll probably we'll go through. What I want to do first and foremost is we'll go through the song and just let us sing through the song, the entire thing with us on mute, just so we can kind of make sure we get our heads into gear with it. And then we'll probably get straight into some phrases. There's and just see how we go. Is that cool?
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. So I will just mute you all. Now I like to tell you when I'm going to mute you because doing it without saying I think is quite rude. If that's like in real life, me jamming my hand over your mouth when you're in the middle of a sentence, probably would be a similar thing, and which should be quite rude, and you might then not be very happy with me. So I'm about to mute you. You are muted. Excellent. So I'm just going to share my screen. And you will be able to see the score. Hopefully you'll be able to see the score, and you'll also be able to see the bass video track. Can everyone see that okay? Yes, excellent. Good stuff. So we'll sing the song once through. I'll move the score for you so you can kind of see what's going on, and then we'll do some work on it, and I'm looking forward to having a listen to you. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Obviously, we wait for this section at the beginning, and then the guide track comes in a lot louder. Make sure we're part of the phrase. Make sure we're part of the music at this point. Emotionally switched on. Start prepping yourself. Here we go. 1, 2. One voice and one voice, one voice, one. Keep up on this note. Voice, smile. One voice. Good. No breath here. Swan. A good breath and light. Really light. And put the M at the beginning of the D. No breaths here. Take ninjas if you need to. Here we go. It takes that 1, 4, push, 2, 3, enjoy. Don't make it sound too bassy, keep it bright, keep it lifted. No breath here, transfer into swan. Ninja breaths if you need, lift, push and let it ring. Breathe. Keep it strong. Not too loud, but strong. No anger, keep it bright in the face. Not too aggressive. Everyone will sing. Transition through into Da. And then you are orchestra. Here we go. Da. changing that into an ois later on. Ois. Okay, gents. So, I'm just going to stop sharing for a second. Obviously, that just kind of gets us there. Most of us will have listened to this possibly today, possibly done sectionals on it. There is the song gets significantly more technical with more things to remember the further it goes on. At the beginning, it's all pretty easy, and then as it goes on, there's potentially long phrases that need ninja breaths. There's dynamics that we need to be aware of. There's traps and little pitfalls. Like the first one we're going to look at is, we'll go backwards if it's okay. The first one is the everyone will sing. Okay, that's the first thing I'd like us to have a little sing through to each other. So what we'll do is I will begin, if that's all right. Again, I like to kind of do that as well, because again, it's always nice to have some feedback myself. And then we'll basically pass round. So all we're going to do is literally go, everyone will sing into da, but we won't do the end notes. We won't finish the song. We'll just do that like 4 or 5 bars, because that's a part there that we really need to be really strong, and it'll just be interesting to see where your voices are. It's not too high, but it does give us that low key as well, just to go with. So let me just find the pitch, and then I'll sing it. And then what we'll do is the order will go in. It'll be me, then Paul, Tom, Stefan, then Doug. And what we'll do is we'll do it one by one, and we might give a little bit of feedback each time. And then the next time we do it, we'll change the order, so it's not always the first. So it's not always Paul going first, because all the feedback we give to Paul, I'm assuming, is going to help everybody, because that's how it goes. So we don't want to just every time Paul gets more points of improvement and Doug keeps on basically having already had all the information and can put it into place. So we'll move the order around, but for the moment it'll be me, then Paul, then Tom, then Stefan, then Doug. But we'll do some feedback in between. So let me just have a listen to the guide track, find my pitch, and I'll go first. And you can be as critical as you like with me. I can take it. Actually, what we'll do is we'll go from section and let it ring one voice. Yeah, we'll go from D. So we're going to go from bar 41. Here we go. I will start off, and I will attempt not to be rubbish. Here we go. One voice, one voice, everyone will sing. Da. Cool, that's me. So that's me. I already know what I think, but I will be happy for us to kind of practice giving a little bit of feedback, positives and point for improvement. So we're kind of being constructive, as opposed to, you're not a bass, are you? Maybe you should go and join the baritones. It's definitely not what we want as far as the feedback. Okay. So has anyone got any feedback, honest kind of feedback?
Sounded pretty good to me, that song.
What?
Stefan, yes, Stefan.
You listen to the track, or did you just sing?
I just sang.
Just sang. Okay. So what I think I realized is that the ritardando on every didn't take place as much as it does in the tracks.
In the track, yeah. Yeah, I would say I would agree with you on that. I think I was not quite as slow on the vree as on the track. I tried to be, but yeah, I wasn't. So I would agree with that. Yeah, but I just free sang it. So, which is just useful because we can kind of otherwise the guide track will take a while to rewind and in everyone's house. Any other feedback? So maybe just make sure I'm slowing down enough on the vree of air vree. Any things that you would want me to work on apart from that little bit of timing? Anything? I can think of a couple, but
I don't know if it was, but I thought I heard the bar 47 and 48, the sing, and then the da sounded slightly different from the sing on a pitch point of view. Sorry.
Yeah, I think what I did is I think I actively tried to move the da upwards to avoid flatting, and I think I potentially overdid it. It is actually a tendency of mine to sharp. I am the opposite of most singers in that I normally sharp a song. If I start singing, I'll normally end a semitone sharp, not a semitone flat, because I hate going flat. So I usually end up picking everything up and sometimes over brighten my vowels as a bass part, especially. I'm actually a lead, but when I hit those lower notes, I'm trying to add quite a lot of brightness, which sometimes pushes my voice upwards, and I do have a tendency to slightly go a bit sharp on some notes, especially my lower register. Things that I'd pick up on me from that version especially was the disconnect between the tone on the will into the sing. I actually didn't control that very well. The everyone will, I was up there and it was we'll see, and it took me a little while to stabilize on the sing, which probably then meant that I was then jiggling around with technical things, and the da ended up not being as successful as it should have been. That's what I remember as I did it, went, that was not as good as I could do. Okay, so that's what I definitely took from that. Okay, so we'll do this now with Paul, and obviously then we can go through and do it with everyone. Okay, so and let it ring one. I think that's our key. 1 second. Yeah, and let it ring one. There's your start note. Have you got your score up?
No, I've got it in paper.
Feel free to, again, this is this gentleman, you're 100% fine. I know you might not need it, but if you need your score just to have it near you, that's absolutely fine. There's no judging. I was looking at the notes on the score there just to be 100% I had the notes, because sometimes, yeah. So that's absolutely fine. There's no judging if you need the notes.
Okay.
There's your start note. Here we go.
Yep. One voice. One voice, everyone will sing. Is that it?
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much. So I will pass out the same offer of feedback to Tom, Stefan, and Doug. First and foremost, what can we have some positives from that?
Pitch sounded very good, actually. I felt. Yeah,
pitch. The tonal center didn't particularly move. Oh no, it isn't. And the more we do this in this session, the kind of easier it'll get. We'll just get used to it. First time is always a bit tricky. Pitch. Tonal center seemed to be pretty decent. I didn't notice any particular issues on that. Any other positive things before I give some positives?
The words were right.
Words and correct. Words and notes were correct. The breath point when we came to the second one voice just before everyone was bang on the correct point. And the control into da, once you got into da, actually you ended the da relatively strongly. Okay, therefore you got all the way through to da, and da finished off relatively strongly. Okay, things that we would highlight as easy things to maybe focus on and fix, folks. What do we think?
I don't know if it was the microphone, but it seemed to be coming in and out.
That is the microphone, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was
There's a thing on Zoom called original sound that is useful to turn on, so that therefore Zoom sometimes picks singing up as background noise and lowers the volume of it. But if that's not turned on, it did suddenly feel like Tom, Paul, you were kind of like it came back again, but we know you weren't actually suddenly being half as loud. Again, a few things from me. Things that Stefan.
When I heard you sing, I would like to have it a bit lighter. Don't let it drop.
Yeah.
Just give it a little lift. Don't think it's a low note. It's just it's a G, and I'm pretty much sure you can sing it with ease.
Yeah. I'd completely agree with that. I think I always ignore the first note when anyone sings. The first note obviously took a little bit into kind of like, oh, okay, here we go. I'm doing it. The breath, therefore, on bar 42 was a long way earlier than beat 4, and I think because of that little bit of nerves, which I think it was, you turned voice really quite quickly, and we got a long ending S in there. So we like let it ring, one voice. We got quite a lot of the E turn into an S, as opposed to that maximizing the first voice and just the really late turn on the diphthong. I think that's more nerves than anything else, because the next one was absolutely spot on. So the next one was fine, but it's just maintaining that long first vowel. Again, timing, it was, again, it's fine, but obviously it was quite a bit faster when you did it there than it will be on the guide track. So just make sure our every is, for me, it's less hit everyone will, but every more like slightly sliding on ice as like a push and a thrust, as opposed to a hit. So it's just that little bit of there. It doesn't lengthen the notes out, but it just gives them a bit more push and glide. And I completely agree with Stefan that when, again, same bit that I struggle with, the will sing, it went quite dark. You then modified it, but when in the modification, it used up quite a lot of vocal energy just before you hit da, but then you solidified it and the da was absolutely fine. But at one point in the sing, it sounded like you were going to run out of breath, but actually that was just because you came at it in a funny angle and you had to kind of modify the tone into da, and once you hit da, it was in a much nicer place on that note. Okay, good stuff though. Yeah, not bad at all, mate. Well done. Tom, do you want to give that a go?
Sure.
Cool. I'll just give you a start. Let it ring. Well, I'm assuming 1 second later we have not flatted or sharped. Yeah, we're fine. One voice, there you are, from 41 in your own time.
One voice, everyone will sing da.
Excellent. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Okay, would anyone else before me like to give any positives?
Constant tone, voice was there all the.
Yeah, nice constant tone. Agree with that one. Doug, you look like you want to say something.
No. I would say the pitch sounded really good again.
Yeah.
Every note seemed pretty correct there to me.
Yeah. Tone and pitch, spot on. Really. Anything that we would look to improve upon?
Personally, I would have thought the every a little bit more attack, whereas Paul was a little bit too much. Tom might have been a little bit too little.
I think
hearing from the
and again,
track.
Tom may have picked up on this himself when he did it, because he slightly had a twinkle in his eye, well, kind of like a little of the eye when you hit the air of every. It was a little bit dark and hooded on the air as you came into it. One voice, It was kind of, it wasn't just pitch, but it was just a little bit, possibly just a little bit of modification of the vowel. More air, A-I-R, and less E-H. It seemed a little, and then hence then it was just gave you a little bit more work to do into the vree, I suppose. That's the only thing I picked up into that. It just kind of just had a little bit of a, just a little bump, just a bump in a very smooth road, so you could just kind of slightly tell. The beginning part of it, bar 41, 42, 43, 44, absolutely spot on. So the really nice duration of voice and their really nice breath, good face actually into 43 as well, into one voice there, and again the will sing, that was nice, and again into da was really precise and clean. So I think it was only the air was probably the only thing that I picked up on that was not as good as the rest.
Well, I benefited from the previous criticism.
Yeah. Like I said, by the time we get to Doug's going to have all of them.
No excuses.
I can't say perfect.
Doug's got to be perfect. Excellent, Stefan. Let's do the same section with you. Let it ring. One. There's your start note. Whenever you're ready, bar 41.
Oh, sorry. One voice, one voice, everyone will sing.
Now I'm going to say straight away, love a ninja breath. Exactly the right thing. I'm going to put that positive straight out there. I'm going to take that one because I know someone else would pick that positive off me. Right thing to take a ninja breath to make sure that you got to the end of Da with loads and loads of quality, which was brilliant to be able to kind of go do that, bring it in with that. That was spot on. Any other positives we've got, gentlemen, before I give a few more?
Nice singing, Stefan.
Thank you.
Nice bass.
And right
Bass
on.
tone there. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah. Other positives for me, actually bar 41, 43 and 44, especially bar 44, that lifted note on voice was lovely to listen to. Are you a bass in your chorus, or do you sing baritone?
Well, I started singing baritone, but for years now I'm bass singer.
Okay, yeah. There was a really nice, it was a really nice lifted tone on voice. Again, the rest of it was really good, but it was especially one voice, one. And it was like four. It had a really nice lightness to it, but still a strength. So it wasn't too punchy. It had a really nice kind of lift to it. It was really enjoyable to listen to. The air and the vree, the one will. Again, the only thing is into 47. There was a little bit of a waver into the beginning of sing. Similar to a couple of the rest of us, it just had to go, we'll see, and then, oh yeah, cool, excellent, we're there. So it just took a second or two to nail it into that sing. But I think that's been for mostly all of us.
In terms of pitch or in terms of sound?
In terms of maybe a little bit of support into that sound. It wasn't a consistent sound. It just had that little bit of a lack of support into sing until kind of just modified, and then it was fine. But it just into sing from will sing. We just had a little bit of a wobble into that. But again, we're talking small amounts there. So that was a good job. Doug, would you like to have a go, sir?
What, the perfect one? Yeah, right.
Yes, exactly. One, there's your start note, Doug. One from bar 41 in your own time.
One voice, one voice. Everyone will see. Sorry, apologies.
No, you know, no, it's fine.
I got
you know
there, but I took it too early.
Exactly. You took a ninja breath just at the time where it said breathe anywhere but here, and that's 100%. And this is the thing: it's 100% what happens once you're thinking, "Oh, this is going okay. I'm on the last line. Oh no, it's easily done."
Yeah, look, I've even got it written down there. Look, and I missed it.
I know it's annoying. The one places you want to breathe is all the places I've told you you're not allowed to breathe. So I think it's my fault. Oh, excellent. So a couple of things. Positives. Again, nice overall tone. The everyone will really kind of nice. Again, pitch, tonal center was really good. Some things to work on for me. Was one more. There's a little bit of a tendency on the or vowel, like the one vor, to ever so slightly have that a little bit darker and slightly further back, which means it had a tendency on those points to be a little bit flat. Not much, but it just lacked a little bit of that lift that we kind of want. So
you want it at the front of the mouth
a little bit more, because if we think your one was good, so your first note was like one more, it just slightly closed itself and just ever so slightly depressed downwards, and then it was one, it was back up again, more, and it was just that. So actually, maybe just slightly modifying the shape you're making on voice. One, four, a little bit of an eyebrow and cheek raise, and just kind of thinking upwards slightly would just help that. And the similar thing happened on every one. The word one again, every one, which is actually almost an R vowel by the time you actually sing it, instead of a one. Every one, we don't want wah. It ends up being more of an R sound. Does that make sense? So it's just the voice, and then the one actually transitioning into an R, a little bit more like an R, just to give it that little bit of pickup. And then obviously you know what you did with the sing and the dance. A ninja breath that wasn't, yeah, which is absolutely fine. So that's just practice. So what I'd like us to do, gentlemen, is we are all going to basically mute ourselves, okay, and we are all going to basically sing that phrase pretty much together. I know we can't hear each other, but I'd just like us to see if we can do that better, and I will trust that you will put some improvements in place. Okay, I will trust that you're going to take that on board. I won't mute myself, so you can kind of almost sing kind of along with me, and I will try and be better than I was before. Okay? And let it ring. One, there's our start note on 41. One. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. One voice. One voice. Everyone will sing. Da. Excellent. Good stuff. How do we find that? Do we think we put some stuff in place?
Yeah.
Excellent. So it's the most important part of the song is the end, without a doubt. I know that you're going to do that last note really well, but we will just go through that now, and we're all going to basically do it at the same time. I know that means we won't quite be able to hear each other, but we need to make sure that we are turning our da into an o into an ois. So basically, we need to listen out for the other parts, and we change our vowel as they hit that voice. Okay. So first things first is let's just listen to that in the bass part, and really listen to how long we hit the da before we start to modify that word sound. Da. It's quick. It's really quick. So it doesn't. It's not a da for very long. So we're like da. it's really quick because we're just moving our vowel when the other parts just go one voice, and then we're on that straight away. So it's a lot quicker than we think, and we just need to be aware of that, because if we stick on an R and everyone else has gone to an or, it's going to stick out a mile on your recording, and it's just not going to sound as clean as we want it to. Okay, so let's try that, all of us. Yes, Stefan.
So if I read in the score, that means on beat 3, we already changed to all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Beat 3. Yeah. Excellent. Let's sing it together, gentlemen. You're all unmuted, and I know that we're going to get it in a little bit odd timing, but then we'll be fine. I trust you. Da. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da. Yeah, and that's, we just need to like grab it by the you know what, grab it and just go, yeah, and that's what you want. Yeah, excellent. So we're going to backtrack and go from section C all the way to the end, and I'm going to give you a job of singing section C all the way to the end. Okay. Basically, we've got our one voice, one voice, one voice, and let it ring. So that phrase, okay? I think the beginning of this isn't too bad. I think the section C and D is a bit where we'll basically earn our stripes as basses in that point. We'll do exactly the same. This time we're going to sing one by one without giving feedback. So it'll be me, then Doug, then Stefan, then Tom, then Paul. So I'll sing, and then we'll just pass it around. All I'll do is give you that first note, and you can go straight into it until basically the end, and we'll then put some feedback in, okay? Excellent. Here, let's do it. I'll go first. One voice, one voice, one voice, oh, and let it ring. One voice, one voice, everyone will sing. Da, da. Cool. Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. Let's just check. I'll give you your correct pitch, whether I've sharped or not. Probably. Da. Da. Yeah, I sharped a quarter of a tone. There we go. I can't help myself. I'm a sharper, not a flatter.
And it was on that door again. It was on that door again.
Yep.
After the sing.
Yeah. Like I said, I am not perfect. There's a reason why I use pitch correction in my tracks. To flatten it back down. Yeah, there's a reason my quartet don't like me when I sing lead, is because I sharp everything when I'm singing lead, and that is not friendly to the baritone. So Doug, you're on there. So from bar 33 onwards, mate. Okay, one, go for it.
One voice, boys, one boy, and let. No, I've lost it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. There you go. Yeah, so one voice. Yeah, so go from that one. Go from voice.
And let it ring. One voice, one voice. Everyone will sing.
Cool.
Sorry.
Good work, mate. Good work, mate. Thank you very much. Excellent. We'll do exactly the same, but with Stefan, please. From bar 33, whenever you're ready.
One voice, one voice, one voice, and let it ring. One voice, one voice. Every one will see.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Excellent. Done. Tom, that's your start note, bar 33.
One voice, one voice, one voice, and let it ring. One voice, one voice. Every one will sing.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, mate. And finally, Paul, from bar 33.
One voice, one voice, one voice, and let it ring. One voice, one voice. Every one will sing.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well done. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to give a little, some very quick pointers. Doug, in fact, most of you still put an S of voice. You finished the word voice off before and let it ring, whereas there should be no S at the end of that one. It's one of the only times you don't put an S, but I think it's void, not voice. And I think most of you did that. Yes, Stefan.
Was it all of us?
I
If I did it, or
I don't know, but I should have written that down, but yeah. That was actually that move up for all of us. Probably was one of the weaker points for all of us. Was the vo? That was the only point where the tuning was possibly a little bit affected, just in general. Not terrible. Vo. Sometimes slightly overshooting. Okay, Doug, you definitely had a little bit of overshoot at that point, which then sorted itself out into ring. I think Tom, you probably handled that handled that part really well. The other things, let me just think. The other thing, generally all of you are pretty solid on the 1 and the voice at the beginning of 33. The bottom G's are really nice. Some good ninja breaths going on. Again, Stefan, good to see your ninja breath was at exactly the same time. Again, I think, Doug, did you miss out the word
1?
One? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, that was cool.
That's my ninja breath.
Yeah, that
worked. Yeah.
It's less likely that other people will take it. They're more probably going to take it later on, and that was really a good. I thought, oh, that's a clever ninja breath. Really early, just take an additional really large breath, but that works really well, and you got to the end of that phrase well. I think Doug, when you got to and let it ring, I think when you got to 41, after doing section C, 41 wasn't as good as when you did 41 in isolation without section C before it. So I think that was the other thing, is that once you stick section C onto section D, it did have a little bit of an impact on section D, the beginning stability of those notes in 41 and 42. Paul, there was a little bit of a tendency to actually be a little bit above the pitch. You're a man after my own heart, and actually that was bar 34 initially. It was 34 where that initially happened. So 1 4. It just you wanted to make it light, and you wanted to make it kind of bright and light, and it just pushed, like I do the same thing. It just pushed it a little bit up in pitch, and just kind of slightly kept itself there for at least for a little while. The da at the end for all of us. For all of you, I'm not commenting on myself really, but for all of us, was pretty good. Okay, the transition should be relatively quick into oi, into the o. So da. Again, Tom, I think, got closest to the speed of that move. And again, it's not the timing. I think but it's like how quick you move into that. It's not aggressive, but it isn't like da. It's da. It's a bit quicker into that sound, and then just, I think for everyone, just that push through that last note is longer than you think. It goes on for a while, so just make sure you've got loads of energy and breath left to be able to get all the way to the end of that, and then we'll be fine. Now, gentlemen, what I've purposely done there is I've taken the back end of that song, and we're pretty much at time. And generally, just some general stuff. General quality level from all of you is really good. You're more bass than I am, anyway. Put it that way. Good general tone for all of you. Obviously, kind of notes and stuff has really already been well learned. I'd say, if you imagine what we just did on section C and D, just that really kind of record yourselves and listen back is the way you can do this. Record yourself and listen back, and not necessarily the whole song, but pick a section like section D on its own, and then try and do C and D, but maybe only listen to D. Just so see what effect section C has on your entry into D, just to get that consistency, because when you do your recording, you've got to sing the whole song in one go. It's like when you sometimes have coaches come and coach your chorus, and they make one phrase sound amazing, but as soon as that one phrase gets put back into the song, suddenly all the stuff that was brilliant, 50% of it gets forgotten as soon as you stick a couple of bars on the front end of it, which obviously then is annoying, because you're like, oh, but it was so brilliant. It's just because everything you do before that takes away energy, and you just have to make sure that you're practicing transitions. So working section C into D and getting the consistency of D, making sure that you're hitting that at the same time. And then when you backtrack, do the same with B. Make sure section B into C is just as smooth a transition, so that we can make sure that basically the beginning of each section, which is more important, that each section is really confident, doesn't lose confidence between section B and C and section C and D and section A and B, when we want it to be gaining confidence. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Cool. We're at 52. Yes, Stefan.
Overall, you shouldn't name it A, B, C, D, because if it's one section, there is no.
I didn't. Zach, who did the score for this, wrote rehearsal marks on for this to help me out. But in doing so, has obviously caused the problem instead of that. But he just said he thought it might be quicker than using bar numbers, but it does mean that therefore it is a blessing and a curse to have rehearsal marks, because it causes the issue of only rehearsing one part. So I would urge you to make sure you do doubles and triples before you do the whole song. Listen back to your recordings and be honest with yourself, but don't beat yourself up about it. Be positive about your voices, because you've all got great voices. We just need to make sure we get the most consistent version of the song in one go. And because we can do small bits of it perfectly, but we just need to make sure we can get it as close to that when we sing the whole thing. Okay, gents?
What should we do next?
What you should do next, well, you can do the following. Now, all the section leaders do different things. So you could, for example, do another session 3, because whoever does that will be doing things differently. Okay, they definitely will. I also know that my phrasing and musicality session is actually quite a lot of listening and analysis, and actually looking at what makes emotional performances. So that's quite different. My session 2 is quite different than this session and my beginner session. So I'd probably say maybe look for different codes. If you look at the code of this morning's, the ones you've done today, maybe look for different codes and try and go to some different section leaders' rehearsals, because even though it might be officially the same session, you're going to get some different things from those section leaders who all have their own way of doing things, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, there will be information for you about what happens with recordings, to basically take you through what we're wanting as far as recordings. But definitely the 2-2-3 at the beginning of the track is 100% required. If you're going to practice to one, practice to the harmony parts video. That's the one you want to practice to at the moment. There will be a conducting video coming, but they're just not all finished yet. Okay, recordings start from the 18th of May. So when we get to next Monday, that's when we're accepting recordings from, and you will all get feedback on your recordings from section leaders with things that you can potentially improve upon, and then you'll get those for a few more days to therefore hopefully put some of those things in place before the final deadline of the 25th of May. Is that okay, gents? But all this will come out on Facebook, and it'll come out on the website, and you'll get all that information. There'll be a few more tutorial videos as well. Okay?
Yeah, not an email.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Simon. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. And this session will be up on the and I'll link you into it. Okay? And you're awesome, Dad.
Okay.
You're awesome. Great stuff. Thank you so much.
See
you later, gents.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Voice.